Hey, yo everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review. And today we're going to be doing, of course, my comic load for the week. But we'll get into that in just a bit. Couple of updates. Number one, if you're a patron, and thank you as always to all my patrons over on Patreon, I am posting up a video review of Fantastic Beasts 2, The Crimes of Grindelwald. So if you're a Harry Potter fan, it's going to be over there. That's going to be up for a week or so before I decide to make it public here on YouTube. As well as I have finished Batman Caped Crusader Volume 1. Now this is a nice little collection of various different stories that take place during Jim Sterling's run, as well as many others, during the 80s, and it encompasses a lot of Batman's adventures with Jason Todd. So I'm going to be reviewing this sometime this week and posting it up, of course, on Patreon first, and then with you guys here on YouTube. And in addition to that, I don't know if you guys are as pumped for Aquaman as I am. It is slowly coming closer and closer and closer. They have just released the DC Multiverse Aquaman figures. I was at Walmart today picking up some earbuds because, as you can see, I just went to the gym and I needed new earbuds. I really hate how the new iPhone has a jack in there that's just specifically made for iPhones. So I have the adapter jack, and then I have my regular earbuds back at work, so I had to get new ones. Who cares about earbuds? So anyways, they released the new multiverse figures, as well as the next wave, which is the Lex Luthor wave. So I really wanted to get Aquaman and mirror. The mirror that they had there had a lot of paint mistakes. I'm not going to bother. But the new Aquaman figure out, and it is glorious in all of its comic book goodiness. This is as comic accurate as you're going to get for a film. Obviously, you got like the little skirt here, which is a little different, but really good looking figure. As well as they had, like I said, some of the Lex Luthor waves, so I decided to get Spoiler. So pretty cool stuff. But yeah, got those two bad boys, and hopefully I'll find a mirror that doesn't have paint mistakes all over it. And yeah, that's about it. I've just been busy this week. The family has come back, so we're getting resituated here. Finished Hill House Haunting. If you guys have been watching that, your boy has finally finished watching that. Pretty good series. Not as scary as a lot of people are saying it is, but it's a good, nice little psychological thriller, and it has good character development. And I've been playing a lot of Let's Go Pikachu. But we're not talking about Pikachu here. We're talking about comic books, and that's really what we want to delve into. So might as well start where we always start, with just a little bit of Batman in our life, with Detective Comics, issue 993. We're getting ever so close to that issue 1000, and this is a continuation of the Two-Face / Cobra story arc. Basically, Batman and Two-Face have to fake his death in order to get closer to Cobra. However, at the end of the day, this, as we all know, would always just come down to Batman and Two-Face. Exactly what will happen? Will Harvey choose to stay with Batman, or will he choose not to? On the whole, this is a okay issue, but it is littered, absolutely littered, with advertisements. Like, I think more than other issues. I don't know if this was kind of rushed or whatever. It was fun, don't get me wrong, but it's just advertisements otherwise. It reminds me of a Batwoman comic back in the New 52, which was basically nothing but advertisements. But it's a decent issue. If you've been following the story arc, keep it up. But if not, I would hold off maybe until the next story arc starts up. Next is Batgirl issue number 29. It's taken me a couple issues, but I finally got on board with this creative team. The art direction, the new costume, and the overall storyline, dealing with Grotesque and his cyber addiction / stuff. Really the nice stuff about this issue is the tender moments, particularly towards the end, dealing with her and her father, and eventually the surgery she has to go through. If you enjoyed Batgirl as a character, I recommend getting the past maybe 3 issues and jumping on to the comic, because this is a pretty good jumping on point, and I have to say, for the most part, the creative team has been doing a good job. Old Lady Harley issue number 2. Now, I did not read issue number 1 when it came out. I actually just read it before I read issue number 2. The premise is pretty straightforward. Post-apocalyptic future, probably set 30 or so years in the future. I don't know. Harley's old. She's raising hell, and she finds out that Joker might still be alive. So she teams up with her boy Red Tool. In this issue, Catwoman and Croc join on, and we find out what happens to Bruce in this alternate, post-apocalyptic future. It's Harley Quinn with her shenanigans and tomfoolery. If you like Harley Quinn humor, this is done by Frank Tierney, who did Harley Quinn for some time after, or at least during the Amanda Conner, Jimmy Palmiotti run. If you enjoy that stuff, you enjoy the quirkiness and the over-the-topness, then you're going to enjoy this with a little Mad Max Fury Road flavor on it. Literally, they take scenes from Mad Max Fury Road, put it in there. Batman Beyond, issue number 26. This is continuing the Joker return story arc. The true return of the Joker. Is it really Joker? I mean, they're saying it, they're really digging in deep, but with all the Jokers running around, who knows for sure. The one highlight to this is I really like the dynamic with Matt and Terry, Batman and Robin. The new Batman Robin team is really cool. I really do like the Batman and Robin, Batman Beyond and Robin costumes and how well they look together. The Robin costume in particular looks pretty good. Not my favorite Robin costume, but for the Batman Beyond universe, it works out pretty good. Overall, this story arc has been good. I think Batman Beyond has been a very serviceable comic thus far, and I do enjoy the new team. Joker himself, though, that hasn't really done much to impress me, so we'll see where things go from here. Titans issue number 30. So this is a fun little let's get together and actually become a team story. So Ms. Martian reveals her true Martian self to help quell the craziness of Beast Boy. And while this is going down, Donna Troy basically says to everyone, like, team, you know what was really cool about the original Titans? We were a family. Like, we knew each other. We knew each other's problems, all that stuff. But we know nothing about each other. We got the trust tree here. Let's sit down and let's talk. Let's share our feelings. And that's exactly what happens. It sounds silly, but it's exactly what this comic kind of needed. This team was kind of thrown together and didn't really have much synergy. But this issue brings a bit of synergy to it. As well, we get a little bit more of Raven in her soul self and where it may be. Maybe I like this issue a little bit more because I just watched the new Titans episode before this, the Donna Troy one, which focuses heavily on my girl Donna Troy as well as Raven. But, I mean, for the most part, this issue was really good, and I think is a step up from the previous issue. Silencer issue number 11. Again, one of the strongest series to come out of the DC Metal line, the New Age of Heroes. Basically, everyone that's left in Leviathan all come together. And Talia basically says, you should really join me because you're all idiots. You're all killing themselves. And if anything, I'm the one that can lead this place. And of course, well, Honored is the only person that really doesn't want to buy into this junk. Again, Silencer has been a solid series through and through. I truly recommend picking up this series. I've been enjoying it. Up, down, left, and right. Terrifics issue number 10. So the Terrifics are going up against this ancient god from the Dark Universe, as well as dealing with Dr. Dread, who is revealed to be Jarvis. Java. Sorry, not Jarvis. Java. Terrifics has been a solid comic through and through. I like the artistic team that jumps onto this, and I think it's clearly heading in a certain direction with the team breaking up and doing their own things, eventually realizing that they need each other and get back together. That, of course, hasn't happened yet, but you get a feel of this by the end of this issue. Fun, fast-paced, nice action. I'm curious to see where issue 11 takes us from there. The return of Wolverine, issue number 3. So what I like about this issue is Wolverine and the X-Men. They actually kind of meet up again, and Wolverine attacks them, but I mean, why not? I guess he goes into his psyche and he pulls out, I believe it's X-Force Wolverine, who's a psychological tactician version of Wolverine. So, okay. So I do like the fact that the X-Men get involved in this because, I mean, to say the X-Men is part of Wolverine is to literally say, I'm made mostly of water. Wolverine can go off and do his own thing and kind of write his own comics and be his own guy, but at the end of the day, it all comes back to the X. So that's great. Bad, there wasn't that much substance to this. There was some fun stuff to it, but I still don't know where the story's going, and I really don't care. I just want Wolverine to be back with the X-Men. That's it. Justice League Odyssey issue number 3. We got an artistic team change, which the art isn't bad, but I prefer the previous artist. I forget his name, but still the art is still good. But basically, the Justice League, this particular Justice League, lands on a junk planet. They need to repair their ship. Starfire is ill, not feeling too well after what happened during the previous issue, and they basically have to figure out where they're going to go from here. Lots of action, adventure, some good quips and good remarks. I mean, for the most part, Justice League Odyssey has been a fun side Justice League story. I don't know if this story has a sustainableness to be a long-term, continuous comic, but from what I've read so far in the first 3 issues, I'm enjoying it. Pick it up. Aquaman, Justice League, The Drowned Earth, issue number 1. This is actually the final issue in the Justice League Drowned Earth story arc. And although it has its hiccups here and there throughout the actual issue itself, it ends off on a pretty good note. This is, however, make no mistake, all just a setup to bring Aquaman in his new direction. Because with how this ends, and I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but it basically ends with Aquaman not being around, right? He's not dead. Obviously, his new series is coming out, but it sets up his new series, the new direction of the story, which the way they handle it is the way I would have handled it, and I like it. So, it's a good issue, and it's a good ending to a relatively unremarkable story arc. Moving on to The Flash, issue number 5. So, not 5, 59. So, Gemini returns, and they cause a ruckus down at Gorilla City, while at the same time Flash learns about all the different forces and how they play towards the universe. Of course, as Flash is learning this stuff, he needs to leave Gorilla City, and that's when shit gets real. I said last issue I didn't care about Gemini, and I honestly wasn't too into the actual story. This is better. I'm a little bit more intrigued in what's going on and how things are being handled by the Flash and the overall story. I think there's more substance to this issue. So, again, Flash has been one of the most consistently well-done comics of the New 52 and Rebirth together. I think from the very beginning, when Barry Allen come back, I mean, it's been great. And Joshua Williamson has done a fantastic job with the Flash comic. So, pick it up. Wonder Woman issue number 59. So, I like the fact that they're doing this whole thing where it might be a reformed Ares, but they kind of do a switcheroo a little too early on this. Not a big fan of the art. It's not bad art, but it doesn't feel Wonder Womanish to me. Wonder Womanish? Woman-ish, I guess. Is that the right? Yeah, woman-ish. It doesn't feel like it meshes well with Wonder Woman or her tone. This issue is okay, but again, I feel as though Ares isn't being handled quite as well as he could be with his new reformed look, but is he really reformed kind of thing? And overall, I don't really care what's going on with this little kid and his fucking half human, half animal, half no one gives a shit kind of situation in Steve Trevor. Okay issue, though. I do recommend picking it up because it is a jumping on point the previous issue too, and I'm at least still curious to see where things are going with Ares. Action Comics 1005. We finally get to reveal who the Red Cloud is. If you've been reading any of Action Comics, you shouldn't be too surprised, but at the same time, whatever. I'm more interested in the internal dynamics that have been going on with Bendis' run on Action Comics with the relationship with Clark and Lois and what's going on with John and how's Clark handling all this. The Red Cloud, I know it's being set up as the main mystery of the story, but I really don't care about the Red Cloud. So while I was generally not too shocked, but at the same time a little bit surprised on who they made it, I really didn't care either which way. So whatever that means. Finally, Heroes in Crisis 3 of 9. 9. I thought it was 8. 3 of 9. So we get a little bit more interviews. This focuses on Wally West, Ambushbug, as well as Booster Gold in their first few days here in Sanctuary. And on a whole, is an okay issue, but I really would like some more of the mystery to be solved. I don't really think Wally West is dead. I know I said that multiple times, but I just don't feel it. I think if anyone comes out of this still alive, it's him. The writing's good. Here's the thing that I have a problem with. Your writing can be incredibly good in the message that you're giving, that these things affect people, right? War, saving lives, doing what needs to be done, going up against terrible evils. That affects you mentally, so you need to have a place like this. And seeing how it affects people is really interesting. I particularly like when Booster makes a holographic projection of himself, and he's blaming the projection of himself, and the hologram projection says, "Why are you blaming yourself? Why are you blaming me?" kind of thing. I think the psychology of this is really cool, but the overall story is like, okay, let's get the ball rolling a bit more, okay? But it's still fun, still worth picking up. With that said, my pick of the week goes to Titans issue number 30. I really like this get-together, kumbaya kind of thing with the Titans and them kind of getting together as a team. This wasn't the strongest week that has been pulled out for comics. It wasn't a bad week by any means. No way, shape, or form, but definitely could have been stronger. So, in saying that, if you want to follow me on Instagram, please, by all means, the links are down below. I do have a Twitter. I need to get back on top of that, but Instagram is really where I post stuff, as well as Facebook is down below. And, of course, if you want to support my channel through Patreon, the links are down below. I am reworking my Patreon reward tier system. That's why this video is not being posted up early. I'm kind of tinkering around with suggestions people have made. But for the patrons out there, like I said, I do have my Fantastic Beast review coming up, as well as my Nightwing timeline, which I've been tinkering around with. So those things are going to be coming up fairly soon. With that said, this is Andrew saying peace out for now.